Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Joanne. I'm a mum of 3 children and I home educate those 3 children here in the UK. Today I thought it would be practical and useful if I could start a video series, probably about 3 videos long, in which I explain how you deregister your child from school, or how you go about it if your child has never attended school before and you intend to home educate them. How to keep records within your home school, and then how to use those records to submit reports to the local authority to prove your home education. So this video is intended for you if you wish to home educate your child and your child is either preschool age right now, or if your child is currently registered with a mainstream school in England or in Wales. The first part of this guidance is really simple because I'm reading straight from, what's this document called? It is the Home Education Guidance for Parents, and it says in there, as a parent, you, not the state, are responsible for ensuring that your child, if he or she is of compulsory school age, is properly educated. So in England, although it doesn't seem like it from our culture, we actually have an opt-in system for schooling. So if you intend to home educate your child and your child has never been to school before, you don't have to do anything. At the current time, if your child is in a mainstream school, then in England or Wales, then all you have to do to deregister them is to send a letter to the school stating that you want to deregister your child from such and such a date. So that can be effective immediately, or I guess you could, give a week's notice if that's something you'd like to do. And so this is what I did when I went to deregister my eldest child, and that was 5+ years ago now. He was just going into year 1. And I chose to deregister him from school, and so I sent them an email. I actually, my son attended quite a small school, so we were lucky. I spoke to the headmistress ahead of time on the phone and sort of talked things through with her, and she was very friendly, and I sent her an official email once we'd made our decision. Then we were invited to attend a meeting with the local authority. Now, here's where legally you don't have to attend that meeting. I did attend the meeting, and if I'm honest, the meeting was, it seemed like it was there to put me off home educating my son, but I was quite set in my in my decision at the time, and so it didn't dissuade me from doing that. But from other people I've heard who've also gone through the meeting with the LA, it's there for them to sort of say to you, hey, is there any way we could keep your child in school? What's the issue? It's supposed to be officially there so that schools can't off-roll difficult students. But anyway, if you're firm in your decision, I don't think you do need to go through with the deregistration meeting. But if, like me, you're too polite to turn it down, then you can go. Just be aware you'll need to stand your ground. And then that is that. Usually what happens where I live anyway is that within a couple of weeks then you can expect a letter from the local authority asking you to confirm that you're home educating your child, and asking you how you would like to correspond with them. So we do that through annual reports, which I will detail not in my next video but in the 3rd video of this series. But I imagine it's the same sort of system wherever you are in England and Wales at least. If your child has never been to school, there are families I am aware of where the local authorities never contacted them. And so they don't submit annual reports. Now, all this may change soon, which is why I have hesitated making this video, but if it does change, and when it does change, then I will update, I guess. But there is a bill trying to be passed through Parliament called the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill. Now, what that bill proposes to do is to make a register of children who don't attend school, so home educated children, and it will also make it harder for certain children to deregister. Now, if you're keeping up to date with sort of home education news, this has made a lot of noise in the UK, because a lot of children within home education groups, so a lot of my own children's friends, have come to home education because they require extra support, and because the schools their parents are reporting couldn't actually provide that extra support. So there are concerns, legitimate concerns, I believe, that actually this bill, if it's passed, will prevent children who are not being served by school from their parents being able to deregister them, even though the schools, by the sounds of it, are not coping with children who need this extra support all the time. And from the reports I'm hearing from parents that I know, they say that although the school are saying that they're providing the correct support for their children, that's not always the case. And so parents that wouldn't otherwise home educate are putting their children out because they're finding that their children are becoming increasingly anxious at school because their needs are not being met, or because their children just aren't coping under the current system. So that, sorry, is a little bit of a side note, because like I said, I don't know if that is going to come into effect and when, but I will make an updated video if that happens. At the moment, like I say, if your child is in a mainstream school, then you have the right to deregister them. If the school won't take your child off of the school register until you've had the meeting with the LA, you can very politely remind them that it's actually the law, that if you have, as their parent, asked for them to be removed from the school's register, then they must do that. It's not subject to a meeting with the local authority. The only exception to that at the moment in England and Wales is if your child attends a school for special educational needs. In that case, then you do have to ask permission from the school to deregister your child, even at the current time. And the advice is the same for a child with an EHCP. If they are in a mainstream school, you still have the right to deregister them as their parent. Your school can't legally stop you from doing that. So like I say, I see a lot of people on Facebook pages struggling with this. Like they've asked the school to take their child's name off the register, and yet the school continue to send the parents letters saying that, until you've had this meeting, or until such and such time, your child's still required to be in school, and why is your child absent? They're not absent from school if you have, as their parent, told the school that you are deregistering them. Then that child becomes automatically home educated, like I say, unless they are in a special school. And the issues with deregistering in England are so prolific that unfortunately there is a website, educationalfreedom.org.uk. If you go onto their website, if you're having trouble with the school not taking your child's name off the register, then you can go there, and they have a failure to deregister letter, which might be handy for you. So that website is really helpful for you. It's got a lot of sort of frequently asked questions on there, so I would check that out if you are having any trouble with deregistering, or if your child is in a special school, they let you know what you need to do to ask permission from your school to deregister your child. I believe it's things like sort of demonstrating how you would meet your child's special needs at home. And the only other thing to say is, if you have requested a place at a school and then decide before your child starts school that you would like to decline it and home educate, you're perfectly able to do that. You just decline the school place, the same as you would do if you're moving out of area or anything. I don't know if there's, I can't remember, because I did this with my middle son. We applied for a place for him at school, just in case we changed our mind about home education, but by the time school came around, he was offered a place, but we knew that we wanted to stick with educating our children at home, and so I just declined the place. And I think I did have to give a reason, or I think it asked for a reason. I don't think you have to give one, but I think I just said we intend to electively home educate our child in accordance with whatever law. I can't remember what the law is, but you could Google it easily, or you could just say you want to home educate your child. Anyway, I hope that this video series will be of some help to people that are new to home education, that are just dealing with all these issues, this deregistration process. Like I say, my next video will be on record keeping, and then I intend to help you to write your first report if that is the place you are at. But like I said, don't let any of this put you off. It can feel intimidating at first, but it's completely doable. And if you have any comments, then I would be more than willing to help you the best I can. Drop them in the comments if you have any questions, and check out, like I say, educationalfreedom.org.uk. They also have a Facebook page, and the national and local Facebook pages for your area are usually really, really helpful, because people on there have been through the same things. We've all been through this process. Like I say, there might be slight differences, and some people have never sent their children to school at all, and some have had children registered, but we've all been, between us, there'll be someone that's been in your position before, I'm sure. And so feel free to ask questions there, and like I say, in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, happy homeschooling.